that I get asked is which swivel should I buy for rigging for my aerial silks. So I have a collection here today. I bought a lot of swivels and I have my favorite now. So from left to right, we have the Petzl swivel in large, the Petzl swivel in small, a steel swivel, and the black diamond swivel. So all of them are a little bit different, but my personal favorite is the Petzl swivel in small. So this one's gonna cost you about $95. The small size is perfectly valid for rigging at home and even in your studio. Like I really prefer these ones. The larger ones are a little bit beefier if you do own a studio or they're getting a lot of use. It's the same thing, it's just slightly bigger. But I just personally love the small one. I just think it gives the best spin. It's the best value for the product. It's more expensive than the black diamond one for sure, but the quality is way better. It's gonna last you longer. It's just honestly like my go-to. So that's the Petzl small. The Petzl large is very similar. It's just a little bit more expensive. I think this one was like $120. And it's the same swivel, it's just larger. I mean, I still like this one. Like I have a lot of these at the studio, but if I'm using like it for personal use or for a performance or anything, I like to go with the Petzl small just because I just find it gives the best spin. If you're doing an aluminium setup, these ones are really good. If your setup is steel, then going with a steel swivel is better because then you're not going to get that wearing out process on aluminium versus steel, which I will talk about in another video. But the only thing I find with the steel swivels is they're just not as good. I find them a bit clunkier. They don't really give you that nice continuous spin. And I mean, this is more of an expensive swivel. I can't even remember how much this one will cost, but I remember being like, oh, I need to buy like 8 of these. I'm not actually gonna buy 8 of them. So based on the price point and then the fact that you can't have them really with the softer aluminium carabiners, and I find that the steel Rescue 8s are not that great. I didn't like the finish on them. So I've moved away from using steel swivels. This one's from CMI, but this is a good option if you do have an all steel setup and that's what you want to go with. So I do recommend it as a swivel. I just personally don't use it that much anymore. I just have that one left. And then the black diamond swivel is one that I would stay away from. So I get it, it's more enticing. It's about half the price of the Petzl swivel. It's about $45, but you get what you pay for. It doesn't have as long as a shelf life. And the issue that I have with this company is that this swivel in particular, the bearing gets crushed in the swivel and then it doesn't swivel anymore. So like, I don't actually use these anymore. This is an old one, but I just don't like this. Like they barely lasted me 6 months before all of the bearings got crushed. If you can see, it's just like a slightly different shape, and then depending on which way you rig it, it's just not the same. If you can actually even see that there, like the swivel doesn't actually continuously swivel. Like on this one, it's much nicer. So I would stay clear from this brand, this swivel in particular. That's just my personal experience with this brand. I just recommend clients don't bother using it. It's better to just pay more, get the good quality and the longevity out of the Petzl small swivel than it is to cheap out and go with a cheaper swivel that you're gonna have to replace anyway in the next 6 months. So that is my reevaluation on which aerial swivel you want to use. And yeah, swivels are really accessible. You can get them at a lot of climbing shops. I get mine from like climbing stores, or you can get them online as well. But yeah, having a swivel is obviously really important for your rigging if you want to do any spinning, and just so you don't get caught in the going forward, getting kicked backwards, like you're just kind of swiveling anyway but not going anywhere if you don't have a swivel. So definitely recommend using a swivel. This is just my opinion. It's totally your preference, but for me, it's the Petzl Small all the way. I hope that you find this helpful, and like and subscribe for more tips and tricks for Ariel.